Cybersecurity really should be top of mind for all of us. Hacking and stolen identity happens often. To help us stay cyber secure when we travel, Paul Tracey from Innovative Technologies joins us now. He's the author of Delete the Hacker Playbook and the new bestseller Cyberstorm that is selling like crazy. So many great tips in it. So Paul joins us now. Paul Tracey, it's a pleasure to have you here, Paul. And this is great information all the time. But I'm just thinking about how much people are traveling now and out and about. There's some special considerations, aren't there?
There certainly are. We always see an uptick in cybercrime around holidays, especially large travel holidays. And so people really just need to be mindful and to have at least a checklist before you travel to keep yourself safe.
Starting the first checklist you gave me, the first point on it is the these wireless connections in public places. The use of the VPN. That's the virtual private network. Explain that to us.
Right. So generally what we recommend is if you can use your carrier, your cell phone, whether it's Verizon, AT&T, or whoever, if you can use that signal and not use Wi-Fi while you're traveling, that's your best bet. But we know that's not always the case, right? And so if you're going to use public Wi-Fi in a restaurant or airport, we suggest that you use a VPN, which is a virtual private network. And what that does is it makes sure that when you're on those networks, the data that you're sending back and forth on the internet is encrypted, and so no one else can read that.
Got it.
If you're not doing that and you're on a public network, then there's a good chance anyone else on that network is going to be able to see your data if they really want to.
Right. So do you think that's real important, would you say?
It's super important when you're traveling. It's very easy in a place that has public Wi-Fi for somebody to go in, see the public Wi-Fi, get the password from that business as a customer, and then put up a fake network with literally the same password. The people that log in, they're not going to know what they're doing, and they're going to log on to a network that someone else created, and they're going to steal their information at the end of the day.
Okay, so the next point is a little bit like that as well. Turn off your Bluetooth, and don't use it when you're out and about.
Right. So when you're home, we all have things, IoT devices, speakers, and so forth that we use on Bluetooth. But when we travel, we really want to make sure that we only allow the things we absolutely need, right? And so Bluetooth is vulnerable. If it's on, it can be hacked just like any other tech that's out there. And so if before you travel, you turn Bluetooth off, except for maybe only the times you need it. If you have earbuds you're going to use in your hotel room, but definitely not when you're out in public.
Okay, got it. Now you have a whole section about not posting your vacation pictures while you're on vacation. So tell me that this is kind of a two-pronged part, isn't it?
It really is, because one, so giving your location in real time is generally bad in terms of social engineering. But when you're away from your home, we all do things like leave some lights on. Maybe you have a light on a timer so it looks like you're home. If you're posting photos from you're in Florida and you live in New York publicly, then people know you aren't home. So you're potentially putting your home at risk for some kind of criminal activity. And you're also putting yourself at risk in terms of someone knows where you are. It's very easy to make a phishing email. If I know where you're at, there's a restaurant nearby. It sounds a little bit out there, but these things are happening all the time.
Sure. I'm glad you mentioned the two things. It's not just you're not home, so your home isn't safe. It's you might not be safe in letting others know where you are. Yeah, okay. Through your phone.
And it happens too, it's like there's been grandparents that have been taken advantage of because a grandchild was traveling. They social engineered that information and they called the grandmother and said, your child's been arrested or some other such thing and they need money right now. These are just things that we're dealing with, and not sharing that information until you get home removes all of that problem.
And then one more thing quickly here, treating your phone like it's your wallet. Never leave it unattended. You're going to the pool, don't just leave it on the lawn chair, right?
No, always put it in the hotel room safe. I know that we all depend on our phones. I do it. We got to look at them a million times a day. It's really not that important. If somebody gets your phone, they get everything that's on your phone. So we all have banking apps. We have credit cards, information. There's all kinds of things on your phone. It's just not worth the risk to be without it. And at the very least, everyone should have a lock code, if not a biometric code on it, just in case it does get stolen, they can't get into it.
UpstateTechSupport.com is where you can find Paul Tracey and his newest book, which has only been out a couple of months, and it's selling so hot. That's Cyberstorm. And I know you're proud of that, and you ought to be, Paul. You said it's a bestseller on several lists for the great tips, that more of what we just talked about today. So thank you, Paul. Good.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for sharing with us today.